Hello everybody, it is Mars Illustrations, finally back. I wanted to do a lot of recording in October, but unfortunately I was very sick, like the entire time. Not that my excuses mean much, I don't do a ton of videos, but I am happy to be here doing them again. If you couldn't tell by the title of the video, today I'm going to be talking about some really fun games to play during the spooky fall season, especially the month of October. We have Halloween coming up, Day of the Dead, and all that good fun. It's about to get cloudy and spooky out, and what better way to celebrate that spooky overcast weather than to stay inside and play board games with your favorite people. First, I will address this drawing, which actually has to do with a board game, kind of. This is actually from a scene in a game that a game called Call of Cthulhu. It's a tabletop RPG. My roommates and I played the first module in it a little bit ago, and my very good friend Nicole, who also helped me with get some of the details on my board games right. Thank you, Nicole, for that. She DM'd it, and she did such a good job. It was very spooky. We played it on a dark, stormy night. We had all the lights out. There were candles. It was very fun. And in this particular scene, one of the other players who was playing a cop, let me preface, it takes place in 1920s. It is a Lovecraft-themed game. He was playing a cop, and he is investigating a allegedly haunted mansion. He's going to turn the corner because he hears a ruckus. He draws his weapon, and as you can see from the pre-sketch, he's going to be a little bit surprised when instead of seeing an intruder, he actually sees a little family of ghosts. When the DM, Nick, was describing this, I literally immediately had to draw it. You guys know how I feel about drawing little ghosts. They are my favorite thing. They are very sweet and sorrowful, and I adore that about them. And yeah, that is that on my drawing for now. Call of Cthulhu is a really cool game. It's a tabletop RPG. We played a module because we were just getting started. We wanted to see what the game was like. But the wonderful thing about tabletop RPGs is that the DM can write their own stories, and it's just a lot of fun. Moving along, I have a whole list here of other games I wanted to talk about. The first one, and possibly the most complicated one, is Mansions of Madness. Mansions of Madness is a co-op game that it's about half board game that you're continually setting up. You add pieces of the board as you go along, and it's half computer program game. The computer program leads you and your friends through a mystery that you all are solving, and it's a lot of fun. It is very time consuming. I think the longest game of Mansions of Madness that I've ever played took about 4.5 hours at least, and the shortest game probably 2.5, 3 hours. It's really fun. It is a Lovecraft themed game, usually takes place in Innsmouth, or at least the games I took part in took place in Innsmouth for the most part, but it can take place in other haunting cities. It is very time consuming, so if you have nothing going on, definitely give it a shot. My next and my most favorite game of right now is actually Mysterium. This is a game one of my roommates recently bought, and we've played it a whole bunch of times already. It is also a co-op game, but one player plays the ghost. So everybody is a psychic, and there's one ghost, and they try to convey a feeling to you through cards that have different art on them. So for the first round, there is a group of murderers, and you have to pick out which murderer you think it is based on the hint cards the ghost/DM character gives you. It's a lot of fun. It's co-op until the last round, where it's not really competitive at that point, but you can't help each other like you can in all the other rounds. And it's really neat. I like those kind of artsy, themed card convey a feeling games. Dixit is a lot like that, but Mysterium's even better because it is about ghosts and murdered, and it's fun, and I enjoy it a lot. Another really fun game is Betrayal at House on the Hill. It is kind of like Mansions of Madness without the digital component. The first half of the co-op game the first half of the game is completely co-op exploration. You're looking through a house, you build the board just like you do in Mansions of Madness, but then halfway through the game, something changes and the dynamic is thrown off. I've been playing, one of the players ends up turning on everybody via the game's instruction, and they actually have to take a separate rule book with a separate story and go into another room and figure out what their goal is before we can continue the game. So you spend the second half of the game kind of trying to figure out what's going on, how to fix the broken dynamic, and pitting all of your friends against one person. It's really great. And of course, finally, there is Lovecraft Letter, a Cthulhu card game. This one is a good choice if you're looking for something a little cheaper, a little easier. It's a card game. It's a card counting game. It's really fun if you like spooky Cthulhu monsters. It's another Lovecraft themed game. My best friend Nicole loves Lovecraft and all of that, so we have lots of that in our house. And it's a good time. Wow, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I'm not a huge board game connoisseur, but those were my very vague and rambly thoughts on some of my favorites. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you liked my work, go ahead and follow me on my social medias, and if you really like it, my Patreon and my store envy will be in the bio. Have a happy Halloween. Bye-bye.